everyone. Welcome back once again to my official YouTube channel English by Preeti Bhardwaj. I hope you all are doing well. In this video, we are going to cover chapter 7, The Open Window, from your textbook It So Happened. So let us have a look at the text and explanation of the chapter. The chapter begins with Frampton Nuttall and a 15-year-old girl Vera talking to each other. Now Vera is saying to Frampton Nuttall that my aunt is busy upstairs, so meanwhile you can have a word with me. Okay, and the aunt of Vera here is Mrs. Sappleton. So there are three main characters in this story. One is the lady, Mrs. Sappleton, then is a man, Frampton Nuttall, and then is a 15-year-old young girl whose name is Vera. Okay, so the scene begins with Frampton Nuttall and Vera talking to each other. Now at this point, Frampton Nuttall is thinking to flatter this girl Vera so as to impress upon her. He is thinking of like talking to her in a very impressive manner, and also he is thinking that if such meetings and if such visits are going to help him in curing his problem of nervousness. Okay, now he is talking to Vera and telling her that my sister has written a few letters of introduction to me, and out from those letters, one such letter is for Mrs. Sappleton as well. Okay, so now the scene here is that Frampton Nuttall had been suffering from nervousness since very long, so he decided to escape to a rural area so as to cure his problem. Okay, but as he was new to this place, so his sister wrote a few letters of introduction of the people with whom she knew there. Okay, and Mrs. Sappleton was out of one such person who was known to the sister of Frampton Nuttall. Okay, so it was this that Frampton Nuttall has paid a visit to the house of Mrs. Sappleton for the first time. Now further, Frampton Nuttall is thinking about Mrs. Sappleton, and he is thinking that what sort of lady this Mrs. Sappleton is, because this is for the first time when he is going to meet her, so he is quite anxious and quite nervous that what sort of lady this Mrs. Sappleton is. Okay, so meanwhile Vera is asking him a question saying that if he know any of the person at that place. At this, Frampton replied that no, I hardly know a soul, as in I don't know anyone at this place. Okay, then further Vera is asking him saying that do you know anything about my aunt? Anything in particular? So Frampton replied that no, I just only know her name, and I got the address from the letter that my sister wrote for me. Okay, then Frampton Nuttall is thinking that I don't even know if this lady is married or if she is widowed or like what sort of lady is she. But the room in which they were sitting, from that room he could like sense it that yes, there were a few men as well in that house. Okay, then now further Vera started telling him about a tragedy. She is saying that a great tragedy had happened to her 3 years back. Okay, so then she further asked a question to Frampton saying that don't you wonder that why we have kept this large big window open in this October afternoon? So Frampton is saying that yes, the temperature is warm outside, as in it is warm, there is a summer. So yes, I was thinking that why you have kept this window open, but is it so that this window has got something related to the tragedy about which you are talking? Okay, so now further Vera is explaining about the tragedy that happened with Mrs. Sappleton 3 years back. Okay, and she said that 3 years back the husband of Mrs. Sappleton along with two young brothers of Mrs. Sappleton went off for shooting. Okay, as in 3 persons went for the shooting. One was the husband of Mrs. Sappleton and 2 were the younger brothers of Mrs. Sappleton. Okay, so the 3 went for the shooting 3 years back on the same day. Okay, but since then none of them has came back. उनमें से कोई भी अब तक वापस नहीं आया है. Okay, so now further Vera is saying that what actually happened was that when they were crossing the moor, which was their favorite shooting spot, they got engulfed by a treacherous piece of bog. Okay, it means that when they were crossing the grassland, they got engulfed by a dangerous bog. Okay, now in Hindi bog means दलदल, as in कि जब वो उस grassland को cross कर रहे थे तो वो लोग दलदल में फंस गए, and they were not able to come out from that, and since then this window has been kept open by my aunt Mrs. Sappleton. Okay. Now, as Vera was telling about the details of the incident of the tragedy that happened 3 years back, her voice started shaking, as in she was full of emotions. Okay, then further she is telling that three of them went away with a little dog of Mrs. Sappleton, whose name has been referred to as Spaniel here. Okay, little brown spaniel. These are the words that has been referred for the dog of Mrs. Sappleton. Okay, as in they three went with the dog. So since then the dog has also not yet come back. Okay, then she is telling that this window is kept open till it is quite dusk, as in till the time the sun sets in the evening. Okay, then further she is telling that many a times it happens that my aunt tells me about the incident that all has happened and the way they all three moved out. She says that her husband with his white waterproof coat over his arm, and Ronnie, her youngest brother, singing Bertie, why do you bound? So she keeps telling Vera that my husband went on that day with a white waterproof coat over his arm, and his younger brother went while singing a song for her, as in to irritate her. This younger brother Ronnie, he always kept on singing a song, and the lyrics of the song were like, Bertie, why do you bound? Okay, then further she is getting very emotional talking about all these things, and she is even saying that sometimes I get a creepy feeling, as in I get afraid that I feel that someday it might happen that they all might come back through this big window. So that's all about the first part of this chapter, the open window. Very soon we will upload the other two parts as well. If this video has helped you in understanding this chapter better, please give it a big thumbs up. In the comment section down, let me know about your doubts and the topics which you want me to cover next. Share it with your friends and subscribe to the channel. Thank you and have a nice day ahead.